Hey everyone, Andrew here from Property Association. Just quickly, we're going to talk about rental affordability. It's come up in an article this week by the President of the Real Estate Institute of Australia, who said if rents in Sydney and Melbourne are too expensive, go get a second job. Before I touch base on that, there's a link below. We do a Property Weekly news, which is across Australia, all different property articles. So if you've missed anything, it's the best place. Rather than you looking for it, just come, find it, click and read. Join us, like us, and you'll be updated every week. It comes out on Monday. So back to this affordability discussion. There's a couple of things I wanted to address. First of all, if you look at all the stats, it's the rental affordability hasn't changed for a very long time. So I don't feel there's a huge issue there. I think his choice of words were quite poor in terms of saying, go get a second job. A lot of people were outraged by this. However, I just want to look at three things. First of all, is how much do we work? Because everybody I know is working more than a standard week. Anybody I know earning more than 100, 150,000 is working more than a standard week. So I grabbed some statistics and I want you to have a quick look where you can see that essentially about 65% of full-time workers actually work more than 40 hours and 31% work more than 45 hours. So to me, if you're working more than 45 hours, you're essentially working a full-time job and a part-time job anyway. So I would say it's probably the 35% that work between, the standard sort of 35 to 39 hours a week that might have been outraged at the thought of getting a second job. And I'm not here to discuss whether it's right or wrong or what the politics are. I just want to know how many of you out there are working 40, 45, 50 hour or more weeks to be able to afford Melbourne or Sydney living. The second thing I wanted to look at was how the affordability is, because in real terms, it's no different to where it was in about 1993. So you can have a look at the percentage of disposable income for rent, and you can see that it really went up a bit. It's come back down, and with the rents dropping at the moment, it'll get to a few more affordable levels, but it's quite similar to the early and mid 90s. So really there isn't a huge issue in that regard. I think where the issue is that in that last 15, 20 years, we have changed our lifestyle and we have chosen to want new cars and holidays and all these other things. And if you disagree with me, let me know. But what I'm saying is that there is a group of people now that, I'm not talking about the battlers that because they just can't get a deposit or can't get into the property market. I'm talking about people who have made a conscious decision to rent. They're saying, I don't want this debt hanging over me forever. I'm not going to buy my house. I'm going to choose to rent. And now we're seeing more and more people who are entering that rent for life area. And because of that, I think there's this mentality that, anyone that's got an investment property is privileged. And I want to rebuke that and I want to rebut that because I feel that it's actually the people who are renting these properties that are privileged. Again, please let me state, I'm not talking about the battlers out there. I'm talking about people who've made a decision not to buy property and to rent. The fact that somebody else has sacrificed getting a new car every 2 to 3 years, going on holidays, doing all these other things, eating out to be able to afford an investment property, so that other person can afford to rent and have a property, a roof over their head in a city they choose, in a location they choose, at a cost which is less than owning that property. I believe it's those renters that are privileged in this situation. I'd love to know your feedback on that topic as well. Let me know. We'll bring up some more news, but don't forget, click our Property Weekly stuff, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.